Alright, so a question I've heard being asked a lot since he was first seen again in Dressrosa is how strong is Sabo? I've heard anywhere from he is not even as strong as Luffy to he is above Fleet Admiral level, and I think those are both pretty extreme takes on the situation, and it's probably somewhere right in the middle of the two. We haven't really gotten to see a whole lot from him, but his fight against Fujitora tells us a lot, as well as a lot of information we have on him. Like, for example, the fact that he is the Revolutionary Army's number 2. The Revolutionary Army is one of the most important and largest factions in the entire series, who is pretty much loaded with a ton of powerful characters. The person who I think it is safe to assume is the strongest in the organization since he is leading it, Dragon, is the only person actually ranked above Sabo as far as we know. And even though we don't really know how strong he is at all, we can definitely tell that he is at the very least very powerful, and I've heard a lot of people say, and I could actually see it being possible, that he is the strongest character in the entire series. So for him to be the only person stronger than Sabo in the Revolutionary Army speaks a lot about how powerful Sabo is. Another thing too, looking on the opposite side, is the people just a little bit below Sabo are extremely powerful as well, and we actually have more information on them. For example, both Ivankov and Kuma were members of the Revolutionary Army, officers if I am correct. Forget Ivankov for now, I mean he is very powerful and it's pretty cool that Sabo is supposed to be stronger than him. But what I'm really focusing on here is Kuma. Again, as usual, it's pretty hard to say how strong he really is, but if I had to guess, I would say he is actually probably the strongest of all the warlords. And I don't mean in his current, like, robot dead form, whatever he is right now. I'm talking before that. I think he actually got nerfed by being turned into a robot. And even if he didn't, his new robot abilities are completely useless compared to what he originally had with his paw fruit, so yeah, pretty much at least how he is now. Anyway, my point is, I think that Dofi is definitely Admiral level, and I would say he's probably the second strongest of the warlords, with Kuma being number 1. Assuming that Dofi is Admiral level, or at least close to it, that puts Kuma above him, which is maybe at or slightly above Admiral level, and Sabo is ranked above Kuma. So pretty much what I'm trying to say here is with all the information we have, Sabo should by all means be a complete animal. It would not be far-fetched in the slightest to think that he would be stronger than the average admiral. If I had to put my money on where he lies within the admiral's powers, I would say he'd be able to defeat Fujitora and Kizaru, and would probably lose to Aokiji and Akainu. And I really don't know anything about Ryokugyu at this point, so I can't say too much about that. Although Dofi referred to both Fujitora and Ryokugyu as true beasts, so it's possible they're around the same level, which would make Sabo better than the average admiral, but that's not the point. We don't know enough about him yet, so I'm just going to put him right in the middle of the 4 we do know about. And again, we already have a decent amount of information on his battle against Fujitora. It was definitely a very easy match, but for one thing, Fujitora wasn't even 1v1ing Sabo. He was taking on like 100 Marines at once, and I think at least one of them, if not like 2 or 3, were Vice Admirals. And yes, I know, Vice Admirals are pretty much fodder, and definitely everything below them is, but Fujitora wasn't taking on anyone but Sabo. Sabo easily held his ground the entire fight, and was even complaining that Fujitora wasn't trying hard enough. Watching Sabo versus Fujitora made me feel like I was watching Hunter x Hunter again, where Gon is always like upset if his opponent isn't giving him his all. And I don't even think I really need to mention his adventure in the Colosseum. That was just a complete shit show. And I know the only person that should have really been any contest for him was Burgess, since, well, okay, Rebecca, I mean, yeah, there's that. And Diamante is a complete joke. I mean, he lost to Kyros, so Diamante wasn't much, but Burgess is supposed to be the strongest person in Blackbeard's crew besides Blackbeard himself. And Sabo completely embarrassed him in the Colosseum, so that I think speaks for itself, really. I don't even think I really need to mention that it was such a shit show. And then, the way that he just gobbled down the fire fruit and just launched a meteor-like attack at the Colosseum without any preparation, never had a devil fruit before, obviously. It's just like second nature to him. The guy is obviously a complete animal, and clearly has surpassed Ace. I mean, I think Luffy actually might have surpassed Ace pre-time skip, so that's not that impressive or anything, but yeah. Sabo is definitely in my top 10 favorite characters, and I cannot wait to see more from him in the future of One Piece. I'm not really sure when he's going to come back into the story since, you know, he wasn't in Whole Cake Island, and I don't really see a place for him or the Revolutionary Army in Wano. I could see maybe some kind of Revolutionary Army arc, or potentially even the Reverie arc. I could see the Revolutionary Army definitely getting involved in that. That would actually make a lot of sense. I'm going to put my money on that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on this topic. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to leave me a comment letting me know what you think and things that I can improve on, as well as comments like this person versus this person and different theories about One Piece that you guys have that I can make videos on in the future. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.